Versatile Mage. Chapter 83. The duel hasn't finished. Mu Juoyan. The two youngsters of Bo City have displayed their incomparable remarkability, so let's end it here. You, being one of the leading figures of Bo City, should be able to dismiss the youngsters' impulsive words as a joke. Principal Zhu finally spoke up. The guests present all knew of the events between Mo Fan and Mu Juoyan, and they were aware that if Mo Fan were to lose this duel, he'd have to kowtow in apology until Mu Juoyan was satisfied. Mo Fan's performance had caused a sensation among the crowd. A genius who could cultivate fire burst to the third level entirely on his own truly deserved praise. At this moment, Mu Ningzhu also turned her gaze toward Mu Juoyan. She hoped her father would let the matter go. If Yuang hadn't held the advantage in magic equipment during this duel, he would have surely lost to Mo Fan, who had exceeded everyone's expectations. In Mu Ningxui's opinion, this victory had little meaning. Just forget it. How could that be? Mu Juoyan coldly snorted. If a mere nobody dared to point at his face and curse him publicly, how could he, Mu Juoyan, continue to stand tall in Bo City? A win was a win. What was promised must be fulfilled. Mo Jiaxing, what are you happy about? Don't you know your son is about to kowtow to everyone? An old gardener called from the side seats. What kowtow? Mo Jiaxing asked blankly. He was happy simply because he never imagined his son could move the hearts of the city's most important figures. Shit, don't you know your son and Master Mu Juoyan made a bet? If Yuang lost, Mu Juoyan would personally apologize to you two for the past. But if your son lost, he would have to kowtow to Master Mu Juoyan until he was satisfied. Any child in our family would think twice before muttering anything about Mu Juoyan, but your son cursed him to his face several times. Even if he could endure it, he would still be angry. Today, he clearly won't let Mo Fan go. The gardener explained. Mo Jiaxing had no idea about the bet. He was completely confused. As he heard this, Mo Jiaxing was stunned. He knew his son's pride and stubbornness. To have him kowtow and apologize in front of his classmates, teachers, neighbors, and Mu Ningzhu. These days, some kids would even jump from a roof over a mere slap. If Mo Fan were to kowtow in front of everyone like this, he'd never be able to raise his head again. Mo Jiaxing quickly stood and ran toward the main seats. Master Mu, Mo Jiaxing called out. Oh, it's Mo Jiaxing. Mu Juoyan narrowed his eyes, recognizing his former chauffeur. Seeing how it's been so many years, let's not make things difficult for a child. Think about it. Today, in front of all these people, many of them his classmates, teachers, and friends, Mo Jiaxing pleaded anxiously. Don't talk to me about how many years it's been. You speak as if I hadn't paid you wages back then. I was already lenient toward you. This time, no matter what you say, I will not let him go. Mu Juoyan replied firmly. Panic filled Mo Jiaxing's heart. He hadn't imagined this would involve such a humiliating apology. In this generation, during one's prime, what would such public humiliation do to a young man's self-esteem? Then I'll take his place. The child was not taught well, so the father takes responsibility. I'll kowtow and apologize to you instead. When you're satisfied, I'll get up. Mo Jiaxing said in desperation. And he meant it. This old chauffeur truly knelt down before the crowd, his wrinkled eyes looking up at the still-seated Mu Juoyan. All eyes turned to Mo Jiaxing. He felt deeply humiliated, but if they made Mo Fan, who had trained himself far beyond his peers, perform such an act, the disgrace would be countless times greater. Mo Fan had already earned the acknowledgement of Bo City's most important figures and nearly defeated Yuang, the carefully nurtured pride of the Mu family. In just 3 years, he had clearly trained hard. He was clever and strong. The reason he'd agreed to such a bet with Mu Juoyan was to help restore the dignity his father had lost when he was driven away like a dog. Mo Fan was much stronger than he was. One day, he would surely become an exceptional magician. But to make him kowtow now would leave a lifelong scar. Mo Jiaxing, on the other hand, was just an old man with no future prospects. Losing face meant nothing to him. Seeing that Mu Juoyan wasn't cooling his temper, Mo Jiaxing clenched his teeth and kowtowed. On the dueling platform, Mo Fan witnessed this scene. It felt as if an arrow had pierced his heart, an unfamiliar, searing pain. The high and mighty will always remain high and mighty. The lowly will forever be lowly. Are people truly equal in this society? If they were, he wouldn't have been cast out simply for being close to Mu Ningzhu. If they were, their home, just a droplet in the ocean to someone like Mu He, wouldn't have been taken away. If they were, a duel wouldn't be decided by mountains of expensive magic equipment purchased with wealth, towering over grassroots like him. In the past, social ranks were clearly defined, forcing people to know their place. Now, the most terrifying thing was that while you might seem to stand at the same level as others, reality would one day strike like a bolt from the blue, leaving you unprepared and in unbearable pain. The kneeling, the sitting, even when you stand, there's no real difference from kneeling. Father, stand up. Mo Fan called toward where Mo Jiaxing knelt before Mu Juoyan. Mo Jiaxing turned his head but didn't have the courage to rise. He feared Mu Juoyan would demand Mo Fan personally apologize. Mu Juoyan sat there indifferently. Mo Fan looked at his father, who had once again made a great sacrifice for him, then at Mu Juoyan, who had no intention of relenting. Father, don't return the gift to Mu Juoyan just yet. The duel isn't over. Mo Fan's eyes were icy with rage. Return the gift. Mo Jiaxing was confused. Mu Juoyan was puzzled as well. Return the gift. Was this boy suggesting that he, Mu Juoyan, should kneel and apologize in return? Chapter end. Please guys like, comment, share, and subscribe.